Here is my audience of 3 people. Okay. In 2022, Bobby Davidson published an article about hiking, 10 interesting facts about hiking. In this article, he talked about the first ever hike in 125 AD by a Roman emperor who hiked to Mount Etna in Italy. In reference to that, my name is Chelsea Dean, and I will introduce myself to you by sharing a few facts. I will do so by discussing 2 of my favorite hobbies and my love for wiener dogs. I have enjoyed baking for the majority of my life. When I was younger, my dad introduced me to baking through cinnamon rolls and chocolate chip cookies. We started making them from scratch when I was probably about 10 years old, and ever since then I have continued to bake. My sister was the one who really liked the chocolate chip cookies, and we would find different recipes to make until we perfected the recipe and we found the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. Also with that, when I was younger, before I moved out here, I did a farmer's market stand and I sold my baked goods one summer. Another thing is I also helped out with birthday parties and family friends. They would just ask me to bake goods. So I've just always done that for kind of the majority of my life. Now that I have discussed one of my hobbies, I will talk about my next hobby. I just recently started to enjoy hiking. So growing up in Iowa, there was a little bit of hiking, but there wasn't many trails like here with the ocean and the mountains and so forth. So I would usually just take my dogs for about a mile hike. But moving to California, I have found the Punch Bowls hike is very close by. That is a 12-mile hike that I've done. That is the longest hike that I've done, but it is a lot better to get out there and enjoy the trails when there's water, the mountains, and just the scenery in the background versus in Iowa when I'm just taking my dog on the 1-mile hike. So another hike that we have done is the Hot Springs hike. We really enjoy that, and that is in Montecito. But yeah, so just moving here, I have found that I really enjoy hiking with all the different trails. Now that I have discussed 2 of my favorite hobbies, I will talk about my love for wiener dogs. Wiener dogs are one of my favorite breeds of dogs, and I was introduced to them just growing up. Many friends of mine had wiener dogs, and then in high school, a really close friend had 2 wiener dogs, and I just fell in love with the breed. After that, I did get my own wiener dog. Her name is Clover Jean, and I have had her for about 2 years. One of my favorite things about wiener dogs is just how cuddly they are. They're also very stubborn. My dog is a very much so a barker, so she will let you know she is in the room, but we just love her. They are very playful and fun. So today I introduced myself, Chelsea Dean, to you guys by sharing some of my interests. I did this by discussing a little bit about my favorite hobbies, baking and hiking, as well as my love for wiener dogs. These are some of the things that make up me. What are some of the things that make up you? That's a wrap, folks.